episode we got this Oh boy, my dudes, it is up. We are up. It's a good day. Okay, so what we're doing today is we're going to be playing Chronus Arc. Now, before we start this, there are a few tiny things I have to mention. First, I was missing a few items. I already did a playthrough of this. Can you guess what happened? I actually did it so that I could get the achievements first, because apparently Kimco games ported onto Xbox don't give you achievements while streaming. So, yeah. I also did it because Chronus Arc is actually a game that I was wanting to play for a long time. I know it came out before Fern's Gate, so that's like my big thing, and I was kind of like, well, I've heard about it, and I was pretty sure that I had seen some videos of it. Well, turns out I did, and now that it's ported onto Xbox, that's good. A few things I should mention, though. So basically the story at the beginning is just these two kids were playing, and then an animal came out of the woods, and it's a cute little dog. And then it turns into a monster, which, I don't understand that, because according to the actual lore of the game, the only way you can become a monster is if you perform a forbidden spell, or if your soul was sacrificed in a forbidden spell. Now, why doesn't that make sense? Because throughout the game, there's only 3 forbidden spells that are attempted. The first, you don't know about until the end of the game. The second one happens during the end of the game. And the third is a super boss that you can find. So, there's that. And basically, though, that's why I never understood the dog thing, because the dog was never involved in any of those. But, yeah. So, some things to note, though. The game has a really huge difficulty spike, and by a really huge difficulty spike, I mean a huge difficulty spike. It's not noticeable until about halfway through the game, though, but here's the thing. So, when they ported this to Xbox, if you play this on DS and then play it on Xbox, or if you play it on mobile, play it on Xbox, play it on PlayStation, play it on Xbox, you'll notice something. For some reason, the enemies, it's not the enemies that have more health, it's the bosses. And the bosses don't just have, like, a little bit more health. If I remember right, the final boss has I think it's like 3 times his normal health bar from the other ports of this game. And it's just kind of ridiculous, though. Okay, so we got this. We can start moving. So, yeah, I got a few of the DLCs, though, just so that we can get, like, some quick little buffs to go by faster. Because on a regular playthrough of this game, without any of the, like, mining buffs and stuff like that, this game, one playthrough, it takes about 20 to 25 hours. Because most things actually don't drop. And if you have the mining resources, that time narrows down to, I think it's like 8 hours or 7 hours. And I didn't notice the game was that hard until like towards the end of the game, and I looked up guides on to see if I was doing anything wrong, and I noticed that enemies were a lot weaker on other versions of the game. Like, they did less damage, they had less health. It's not the enemies really, it's the bosses, and you'll notice that because the end-game bosses, you can one-shot the enemies, and I mean like one-shot them to the point that, like, say, if I remember right, they've got like 3,000 health or 2,000 health. You could be doing like 6,000 or 7,000 damage, like double their health easily. And for some reason the boss, you don't lay a scratch on, but he can like 2-shot you. Which also, that's another thing, they buffed all of the boss's damages. And that's noticeable in the super boss, because I actually did do that fight. And his damage was like 5,000, I think it was, except he can hit you multiple times in a turn. And that's a bit much, because you can only have a max HP of 9,999. So, yeah. More you know. Anyway, though, the reason why I got the 3 times mining thing, though, is literally just to shave off that material farming, because the materials are for armor and gear, and we'll get into that system later, but it's just kind of like you have to upgrade your gear to do more damage and take less damage. And for farming, for infinite stats, it's actually kind of easier in this game than it is with other Kimco games. All you have to actually do is go take down enemies, and it's kill-based. So you could just farm for like maybe an hour or 2 and get all of your, get like a stat to 999, which is the max stat value, even though in most Kimco games it's like a lot more than that. But yeah, though. It's normally, on console at least, it's normally 9,999, and then on mobile it's normally like 99,000, which I don't understand that system either, because they keep the monsters the same, and that, yeah, it's just weird. Ports for Chemco games are weird. Okay, so what's happening here is they're talking about a time rewinding ceremony, and this thing here is just every 10 years you can use chronus fragments to reverse something to how it was 10 years ago. And that's basically it. And he was explaining it to you, and then this guy comes up, and yeah, now you gotta run because you're gonna get wrecked if you don't. And also, plot hole right there. Somehow your master loses to that guy, and like it's obvious immediately because, you know, he had an army and stuff like that. Okay, here's where that plot hole comes in. So your master, when you actually do fight him, because obviously, you know, it's a JRPG, if he was alive you'd fight him, if he was dead you wouldn't. But he will be, and, you know, it's either gonna be like, oh, he was actually a bad guy all along, or oh, he was hypnotized or mind controlled or anything like that. Well, basically, though, what doesn't make sense there is your master can one-shot the final boss. Oh, that's another thing also. So they buffed the final boss, but they didn't buff his first form. And you notice that because you can one-shot his first form if you just do, I think it's like 10,000 damage. And you can hit that pretty easily with some abilities. And it's funny to watch because his first form you'll like one-shot, and then his next form has like, I think it's like 8 times that amount of HP and defense. So yeah, they kind of had some weird scaling system going on. Okay, so now we got that. Now we have to just walk back over there. Oh yeah, also this game actually has a decent fast travel system. You're able to fast travel practically anywhere that you've already been once. So if you want to like find a place to farm, just go there and then fast travel out of it. And I got the DLC to full restore after every fight because Chemco games take forever to farm if you don't have that, or if you waste time getting items, which I'm not into that. But basically though... Okay, so we can't go through the door. But yeah, though, basically, though, that cuts out farming time, too. Not a lot, but I mean, you know, cuts out maybe an hour or two of just running back. So that's good. Okay, so now what we have to do, if I remember, is gather information. Yeah, we have to gather information. Whenever you have a quest to gather information for this game, let's see where we should go. Okay, the empty house, the inn. This place is the shop where you convert dead enemies into mana, which is the currency that you use. So, yeah. Another empty house that was your house. Oh yeah, also there's stuff in these pots. I think one of the pots in the first town has like a Fruit of Power, which is the permanent stat buff item. So, yeah. Okay, so here are the other things. This is the item shop, and this is the tavern, where drunk people come to talk about their life stories. So, which would have the person you're looking for? Gee, I wonder. Okay, so we talk to them, we go up here, okay, so we got all that. Normally, it's in the tavern first. I don't actually remember where the first one was, though. Okay, so if it's not in the tavern, though, then it could be this person. Oh. This is why we talk to everybody. Okay. Is it you, sir? Oh, found him. Okay, this was who we were looking for. He was in the inn the whole time. Should have known. Start of the game, it's always the inn. Okay, so what do we do now? Okay, I think that was it. Oh yeah, also weapon shops are pointless in this because the smith shops are what you're supposed to use to get the best gear. So I don't know why they decided to even put a weapon shop in. I think smith shop would have just been like the only thing they needed to do. Okay, so now we're gonna get her as a party member, and she's the princess. Okay, Sarna became an ally. Okay. Also, what I'm gonna try to do is keep these streams down to, maybe like a short start. Like, for example, this can be like the starter area, just done. So, you know, like everything around this town. And there actually is a decent amount of stuff. Okay, this is where we learn about boost manuals, which, if you want a simpler term, they could have said schematics. They're schematics for gear craft. Yeah, so that was just for the basic gear. Okay. Okay. And yeah, the further you go, there's one of him in every single dungeon. He'll disappear after you talk to him once, and then you just gotta find him in every dungeon to get all of the crafting recipes. So yeah. Oh yeah, so the little girl who lives next to the inn and the blacksmith. Okay, so the little girl next to the inn. Is she in the inn, or is she in the tavern? I don't actually remember. I think there was somebody in the tavern she wants to talk to, though. Yeah. Okay, so that's that. I wanted to say that was the one. If it was, I'm going to be a little bit sad because they said right by the tavern. Yeah, okay. So the woman in the tavern, the little girl lives next to the inn, and the blacksmith. Well, we talked to the blacksmith and the lady at the inn. Maybe she's in the inn? That's a possibility. Oh boy, we got these clean rooms. Clean rooms. We can't go in here, can we? Yeah, no. Okay. So... you're not a little girl. Maybe you... this doesn't look like a little girl. Yeah, okay. I guess it is, though. Okay, so we're done with that. And now, we have to go down here. We're gonna go up. Although, we're not really going up. Yeah, okay, so basically she just said we can fast travel wherever we want. Anyway, though, so the place we're going is directly up. First, I want to discover some enemies, and the reason is because as you go to new places, you actually get a bigger list of enemies, and in towns that you've been to, there will actually be, like, quests to kill these enemies. And that's kind of where the big farming comes from. Most of it's really easy, but some of it's just, like, constant farming. I'd say off of killing these enemies, at about, like, level 10-ish or 15-ish, you're good for the first area to go to. At least with double damage on. Without double damage on, you actually have to, like, craft your gear up until that point, which is kind of boring, because it's time-consuming. So, yeah. Oh, yeah, so also, one other thing I should point out is, that right there, that green, like, tree, that's actually a forest. If you notice how it's, like, surrounded by an empty space. The whole thing with it is that's the place you grew up as during that flashback. That's your home and whatnot. There's nothing special about the first time you go in, which doesn't make sense because that's where the next leveled enemies are. If you just completely pass that tree, there's like a fine line. I don't know exactly where it is. I want to say it's like 1 block up from here. And 1 block up from there is just enemies that are ridiculously hard if you don't go through the trees. But there's nothing in the trees story-wise. It's just there. So I don't know. It's just there, I guess. Yeah, like, there's this tiny line of dialogue right here. Yeah. I mean, enemies do, like, tiny damage here, so it's all good, though. Okay. So we're just gonna speed through this. And by the time we're out of here, hopefully we'll be about level 10 for that area that's, like, up on top. And after that, we're gonna head back to the first town, and I'll show exactly like how side quests work and where to get them. And most of them is literally just clearing out enemies. Okay. Oh boy, yeah, so here's this guy, and he's got his little stuff that we can get, which is nice. Yeah, we get a lot of crafting materials thanks to that 3 times thing, which is very helpful, so we don't have to keep reloading the map and to come back here, because just that walk is stupid. Okay. I wish they just made it a money-based thing, because they kind of made money redundant in the game. Yeah, also, you can find little BGM tracks. They don't serve a purpose other than in the main menu you can listen to them. Oh boy, our first abilities. Protection gem. Also, these enemies don't actually try to target you. They have a pattern for how they walk. I just don't care about the pattern enough to avoid it. Oh yeah. So those little signs, if they're by a chest, that normally means there's a technique in it. You can equip techniques, and they're normally buffs for your magic damage. I don't use magic half the time, though, until, you know, late game when it's necessary. Okay. So what level are we? 8 and 7. Okay, I'm gonna take my chance. Also, yeah, this is my safer mid game. By the way, so those level like 80s and 90s, yeah, level doesn't really matter. However, the reason why the top player has so much is at like level 30 something you can respec, which means that you'll swap classes over and start over as level 1. Your stats don't really stack like it says they do. What it is really is you get a tiny stat buff to the next time you're level 1 with a new class type. And it stacks like it's in like you're supposed to hit like level either 42 or 46 for the last skill in every class, and then it just passes over, and you'll keep your skills and you'll get a tiny stat buff to your next class. You don't really like pass anything over though, really, like it says you do. Okay, there's the Fruit of Strength I was thinking of. Anyway though, that's kind of the whole system there that they've got. It's not a bad system, it's just the fact that like they probably should have told you that at 42 or 46 you should respec, because they just tell you about the system kind of randomly. Okay, so here's the side quest place, and all you do is go in here. Reporting quests turns quests in. Checking quests will give you what they are, and you can just read what they are or go for them. Okay, and then once you've read them, they pop up in your little quest log right here. This is the side quest log, and as you can see, we're missing a few. The reason we're missing a few is the first city, which we're gonna go back to pick those up right away. And fast travel's instant, like there's no screen swapping. It's nice. Most games don't like go to that point. Okay, yeah, most of this stuff is literally just hunt down weak enemies. Okay, so we need to hunt down ponchos, black ponchos, lizards, and killer birds. Okay. Now, some of those enemies are going to be in the Chronus Shrine, and if it's in that area, it'll actually tell you normally, unless it's like in the open world place that we're in right now. Like, for example, the black ponchos are going to be in here. Okay, we have to actually solve the puzzle. Oh yeah, also, cool thing, once you're in dungeons, after this point, you can just hit X to leave. Okay, I've got like a little fast exit thing. Yep, found him. Yeah, we'll we'll get all the quests done for the starter areas. And then after that, we're gonna probably end the stream. Hopefully that'll be at about the 40-minute mark, so we keep it on good time. Okay. I also left bumper speeds up fights. Wasn't sure if it saved my speed from my other playthrough or not. Are there any enemies here? Yeah, there's that one. Okay, so we got that. Let's just head back real quick, because they respawn as soon as you change screens. It'll be about like level 10 for the enemies that are past the forest. About level 15 or 20-ish is what you should be for one of the quests in the next town too, which is kind of a reason why I'm farming. If you just have the gear to make up that level, then it's good, but I'd prefer to have the level and the gear, so hopefully we'll have both before then. Okay, so we got that. Was that the only one we needed from this place? Let's check real quick. So we got Poncho Suppression, we don't have that yet. Lizard Suppression and Killer Bird. And these are for the next area. Okay. So we're good. I'm gonna save real quick because that means one quest down. Also, I don't really care about that save slot. I could save over it. It's just kind of want reference for like what time we're doing right now, because that save started off I didn't have any DLCs equipped, and it wasn't until about 6 hours in that I got a DLC, and that's also when I bought them all, aside from I think there's like one that I don't have. We can actually check, because I think there is one that I don't have. Yeah, it's disable battle encounters. So yeah, I don't have that just because like I want to end up in fights. Like, by the time you've hit the fights for your side quests, you kind of need them. And if you don't, then you'll just fast travel, so there's no point in disabling it. Because I don't know if that disables the fights in dungeons, like when an enemy walks up to you, and if it doesn't, then there's no point. But yeah, so that's how that works. Yeah, but if you can't tell, like, it's not a grind so much because it's not for XP, but this is a grind just for the kills, which is pretty dumb of a system. Because you need these for almost every enemy type, and there's a decent amount. You mastered Ash, and that's the ability that's like an AoE for our little side character. It's not the main character. Okay, so we need 5 more birds, and 4 more ponchos. Five more of both. Okay. So that's all the ponchos we need. Now we just need the killer birds. How many more do we need? We need 3. Then if I'm right, the lizards are probably in the forest. We'll worry about those in a bit. Okay. We just need killer birds. We don't need no ponchos. Oh my god. It's literally just ponchos now. Okay. That's the last one. Okay. Okay, so now we gotta find 5 lizards, I think it was. By the way, so if you noticed, there's ponchos, birds, lizards, and boars as the enemies that are walking around the dungeon. Yeah, those are the only ones. I think there's also, there are knights at some point, and there's also, there's one other. I don't remember what I think it's ghosts. Yeah, that sounds right. But yeah, they're like, the lizards are actually the symbol for the dragon later on. Except for the real dragons, because there's also dragon bosses, and whenever there's a dragon boss, it's like an actual dragon. Like, they made the animation for the dragon, they just didn't want it on the enemies that are mobs that are dragons. So they just gave them lizard ones. Okay. So that was an enemy that we had to kill for the town that's, like, up ahead. So far, though, we're making okay progress. Like, we're, what, 30 minutes in? Yeah, 27. And literally 2 or 3 of those minutes was explaining the game in the intro. So, yeah, it's good. Okay, I'm gonna look at the quest real quick, just so we know what we need. We need to kill 1 more lizard, and I don't know if there's any up ahead, so just be on the safe side. We're gonna walk back here. Okay, so that's good. And I think that was the last one we needed for that entire town. Yeah, that was the last one we needed for that entire town. So we got the first town completely done, and what is left now is all stuff from the next town, which we'll get anyway, because we're already here. Okay, so how to go about this? Let's head back to town so we can craft some stuff, because we're gonna need better gear. It's like the first thing I want to make sure we do. First things first is better gear at the smithing place. Do we actually have equipment even equipped? Yeah, we do. We've got the short sword, the protector, and... okay. There's magic at the end of the turn, and that increases magic. So he can't use magic yet until he can change classes, so she'll just use that, and she'll get both. Okay. So now we're gonna reinforce our stuff. I think damage first might be best. Okay, so they need iron for that. She can keep upgrading until that. Okay, he needs iron. She needs serpent skill, which is going to be another piece later. Okay, so we're good on that for now. However, there is one thing we can get from the weapon shop that you could craft. I don't know if we can already craft it or not, but I prefer to just buy it. It's the power ring, if we have that available. I think that might be only available in the other town. Yeah, I think it is. Okay, let's go to the other town real quick. Grab the power ring if they have it. I may be thinking of a later town just altogether, but I'm pretty sure it was early on. Yeah, Ring of Power. Ooh, we need 400. That's lame. Can we sell techniques? Yeah, okay, I didn't think so. I don't know why that's even on here. We're not gonna need herbal potions. Okay, and a Fruit of Strength, we are gonna need that. We aren't gonna need this, though. I don't really use items that do the boosting. buy a Ring of Power, and that's gonna just be for the guy for right now, because the other character is meant to be like a support class. She'll get something eventually. It's just better that he gets it now. Okay, so we got that. I think that's everything for this. We're gonna check the quest shop real quick, because the quest shop will tell us if we're missing anything. We're just giving them soft leather. Okay, so we got all of that. Blunted Claw collection. So we need 2 more Blunted Claws. And I think you get those out of the forest. So we're gonna head there real quick. Yeah, sometimes quests just pop up later on after you kill some enemies, which is kind of dumb. And it'll keep your progress towards it, even though you didn't see it or have it a few minutes ago, but that's okay. Oh, we actually got it from killing one of those dogs. Okay, so that might actually just be like a drop from them. So at the start of the next video, I think I'm going to give like the tutorial on what each stat does, just so people know for when you're actually getting fruits with the kills that you've been getting. I also might like off-stream farm a little bit for the kills, because it's nice to have some fruit. Like, the fruit's literally just how you get broken OP, but that's the same for all Kimco games. It's either seeds, or it's fruit, or it's gummies. I think it was gummies and As Divine Hearts. I don't actually remember. Okay, so we got that. Okay, yeah, so we got a bunch of Blunted Claws from that. So, now we just head back. We go to the quest station. Okay, we're gonna just turn this in. Okay, so yeah, now everything's done for this place, which is good. And the way you can check also is the numbers. It's like we've got 1 through 7 done, and 8 is still on here, but that's for the next place, so yeah. Also, we're apparently missing like quests to 12 and 13, so that's how you can tell we're missing something from the next place. I think those are at the tower that's like right by it. But yeah, so we know where those all are. Let's see what our other quests are for that next place. Choco Ponchos, I actually know where those are, and Beautiful Leather, that is at the top area-ish, and Fur drops from literally any wolf in this top area here. It mostly drops from the big ones though, but it can technically drop from anything here. Okay, so yeah, these enemies actually do like decent damage for the area they're in. Because the scaling was kind of weird for this game. Yeah, we got 1 Fur. It's from basically any dog, like, type enemy. It mostly drops from the bigger ones, though. Yeah, and those are Choco Ponchos. They're kind of like, darkish brown. Now we're just gonna get these side quests out of the way, because these are the ones that are like first, you know, towns. Up until, I'd say honestly, this is about a 5th or a 6th of the game. So yeah, I don't know why I just went in there. I meant to just roam around. But yeah, like we've already gotten a decent portion of the game out of the way. The main thing is like farming. Like I'll probably be farming off stream, not for side quests, and that's why I'm gonna get these out now, so that I'm not getting side quests passively. And I can just farm for kills off stream, which will, I'll probably just mostly get like speed, either that or power, And the reason is because power and speed are damage and defense. Well, power is damage and health, and then speed is damage and defense. So I don't know why it affects those two stats. It also affects, like, you know, if you'll go first, but yeah. Okay. Let's look real quick, see how many we need. Okay, so we need to kill the mountain hut monster. One more beautiful leather. Get those from the things we were killing inside the forest. Furry you get from those dogs, and we need to kill 9 more chocolate ponchos. Okay. Just have to keep like tabs on how many more we kill. Also, we're probably gonna get a quest to kill those like lizards, most likely. Now we just need 8. Seven. Ooh, we got a beautiful leather. Okay, so those apparently drop from those lizards. We got that, which is good. I'm guessing that just drops from all lizards, though, because we had like 9 before we even fought those. So, we're learning. That's good. I wasn't really paying attention to this, like, my first run. My first one was literally just farming, and I was getting the side quest passively. Now I'm just trying to power through them, because I actually know what I'm doing. Okay. So I think we need like 1 more fur, and then we also need a couple more chocos. Yeah, we need 1 more fur and 4 more chocos. And then we can kill that monster that's in the hut. And the hut monster is a bit different of a fight, because it has, for where it has a lot of health, which is why it gives it like a 4-star difficulty. Okay. How many more do we need? We need 2 more chocos and 1 more fur still. I love it when you just need 1 item that won't drop. Okay. Oh, there it is. Okay, so now we just need 1 more choco, and then we'll kill the monster. Yep, there it is. Okay, so we're good on everything now, except the monster. Okay. I'm probably gonna save right before the boss fight, just so that, like, you know, we'll know if we can do it or not yet. I'm pretty sure we can. And here we go. Grab more of these. Yeah, by the way, we're gonna need a lot of crafting materials, and the reason's because when we get our next party member, we have to upgrade their stuff too. And they're actually close to this area. We'll see them probably in the next stream that we do. Okay, so here's this guy. He doesn't aggro on you until you talk to him, so that's good. But yeah, now we have to find out if we can actually handle it. Okay, so we can do lightning slash, and don't use Ash. Ash is like a weakened physical attack. Oh boy. Actually, lightning slash, I don't remember if that's weakened or as strong as the normal hit. I think it's more. Yeah. Okay. And we got that. So that's gone. Now we head back. And hopefully that's it, unless another like side quest pops up. But I think that should be good. Unless there's like that one that just pops up. Oh yeah, also, so turning in iron fragments actually gives you iron, which is kind of helpful. Okay, so yeah, no, we got everything done. And I'd say that's about it for this stream. So yeah, let's actually see real quick how many things we've killed over here. So in the first town you go here, and it's the building with the stars. Okay, so mana conversion. Killed 208 enemies, and that actually equals 40 mana, which, if I remember right, every fruit that you want to get is 5 mana. So with that, we can get 5, 10, 2's 10, so yeah, we can get 8. And they don't upgrade your stats by much, but they do it by a decent enough amount where it's good. So yeah. I'll probably off-stream kill things for a while, and then once I'm done with that, we'll pick back up. Let's get a time check real quick. We're 40 minutes into the game almost. And yeah. 13. Okay, well, hope you all have fun watching. See you next time, and